As COVID cases continue to slow down in the Bay Area, some employees who have been working remotely are set to return to the office, while others are contemplating relocating altogether. Since the start of the pandemic, office workers have been forced to log in from home, while some in the tech industry packed their bags and left the region. As a result, smaller cities are poised to grow tech talent post pandemic.
What we found in this survey is exactly that. That while Silicon Valley is clearly going to lose some tech workers, there are people who've moved during the pandemic, and some are not going to come back. Most are going to return. And we saw that very clearly in the data that most people are going to return. However, there's a net negative of about 4 or 5% of kind of that tech workforce that isn't going to return. And that's probably not surprising to anybody, but it's a small relative amount. But what is happening with that 4 or 5%, they're going to make a really big impact on other cities, what we call smaller kind of mid-sized cities across the country, where those smaller mid-sized cities are going to get a 20% lift in their tech workforce.
You've definitely seen a big mindset shift. People are very interested in living in the place where they want to live. I think before you saw people go to universities all across the country, and then after they graduated, kind of go to these worker-centric hubs, places like New York or San Francisco, maybe even like a Dallas. I think you're seeing people willing to do that at an earlier stage now, which is causing a lot of this drift from markets like New York, San Francisco to the middle markets. People are like, well, I've always wanted to live in Utah, where I can be really close to nature and close to the national parks, and buy a home with a yard, and be in a place where the public schools are just as good as the private schools, that sort of environment. Well, why don't I do it now? So we're capitalizing from our company in recruiting a lot from out of state. We're based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Over 30% of our full-time hires over the last year have come from out of state. In kind of an odd twist of events, after a year of all of this, a lot of people have realized I can not only live where I want, but I also want to be with people. A lot of people, I think, are coming to terms with this fact that maybe I don't want to work remote. And so you're seeing a lot of opportunity for people with local regional offices to provide both of those things.